Happy Friday, Catholic Life. My name is Zach Wolking. I'm the current men's community coordinator for this semester. I hope you all have been having a great Friday, a great Lent. Know that I've been praying for you all as we've journeyed through this season together. And today, on this Friday, I thought it might be good to think about our Lord's sacrifice on Good Friday through the lens of the Eucharist. This book here is called The Holy Hour. It's just a collection of meditations for Eucharistic adoration. And this chapter that I'll be reading from is called Holy Sacrifice. And more specifically, this quote that I'll be reading is from St. John Henry Newman. And, I thought, what better Lenten reflection than a saint's words? A saint's words are better than my own. So I'm going to be reading this passage about our Lord's sacrifice in the Eucharist, or his sacrifice presented through the Eucharist. And then I'll just offer up a few words of my own. So this is St. John Henry Newman. Our Lord not only offered himself as a sacrifice on the cross, but he makes himself a daily sacrifice to the end of time. In the Holy Mass, that one sacrifice on the cross, once offered, is renewed, continued, applied to our benefit. He seems to say, my cross was raised up 1800 years ago, and only for a few hours, and very few of my servants were present there. But I intend to bring millions into my church. For their sakes, then I will perpetuate my sacrifice, that each of them may be as though they had severally been present on Calvary. I will offer myself up day by day to the Father, that every one of my followers may have the opportunity to offer his petitions to him, sanctified and recommended by the all-meritorious virtue of my passion. Thus, I will be a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. My priests shall stand at the altar, but not they, but I rather will offer. I will not let them offer mere bread and wine, but I myself will be present upon the altar instead, and I will offer up myself invisibly, while they perform the outward rite. So, I think the first thing that comes to mind for me from this passage is just what a gift it is to have the Eucharist in our lives, what a gift it is to be able to go to Mass every day and just receive the very body and blood, the same body and blood that Christ sacrificed on Good Friday 2,000 years ago. And I think, at least for me, going to Mass can sometimes feel like just a habit. It's great if you're going to Mass enough to where it becomes a habit. But once it becomes a habit, sometimes I think we lose sight of just how monumental each Mass is. We lose sight of the holy sacrifice that is occurring at each Mass on the altar. When the priest lifts up the body and blood and says, through him, with him, and in him. That is the representation of the sacrifice that St. John Henry Newman is talking about in this passage. So I think one thing to pray about for the rest of this Lent is just, how can I better appreciate our Lord's sacrifice on the cross? How can I unite myself to that sacrifice more intentionally in the Eucharist by going to Mass and going to adoration? Thinking about how can I apply this sacrifice to my life and live a life that is a testimony to the love that our Lord had for us, that motivated him to both die on the cross for us and to give us this wonderful gift of the Eucharist. So, that's all I have for today. I'll be praying for you guys as we journey through the rest of Lent, and I hope you'll pray for me too. So, God bless.